Arco 1964 here again, and another racecourse. This time it's Newcastle, my local track. I had about coming to the fourth race, unfortunately not getting anywhere with winners. I tried to take the second race on because he was, well, basically shitting in the pre-parade ring away and settling in the saddling box before going to the parade ring. He seemed much more. Now I'll try and see who it was in a second, because there you go, what a race card here. Rather odd. I said that Air might have one in my saying, because the only other race course I've been to, one of the race course is Hamilton. I wonder if it's a Scottish thing, but Newcastle have race course as well, and no other course I've been to have. It's a little strange. Yeah, so the second horse, he's sort of struggling a little bit early on, Manhattanville. But he went on, unfortunately, because that cost me some money. Yeah, as I said, a walk here. I mean, I live in Newcastle. It takes an hour 10 to walk, just under an hour 10 from my home in Jasmine to the racecourse, going along the Great North Road. It's a very, very humid day. It's going to rain. It could take an hour 10 to walk back again. I was saying it's just cheaper, and I also need to lose some weight bluntly as well, so it's a useful thing to do.
The results is now official. They have weighed in.
And it's a very humid day. It's supposed to rain a bit later on, but I think mainly after I get home, so that's not too bad. So we're off to Windsor on Saturday. I'm sitting waiting for the 6:30 train. I mentioned a few times about passports, and I looked something up on Twitter and saw comments asking about the Newmarket July course a few days back, about whether they said about passports. Oh yes, Newmarket said you need to take one. And I replied to them, but basically to both racecourse and the person, saying, well, was this forced? Expect them to say no. But rather surprisingly it was, and apparently needed photo ID. And I was saying every racecourse, even the ones that demanded photo IDs, haven't. It means I have to take the passport with me. The only jockey that's the jockey Newmarket July course of Rolling Mile is, sorry, what go? It's Jockey Club course along with its sister course, and we have actually a sister course, Rolling Mile course being 2.25 miles long, and the July course having racing between June and August are in different counties actually. The July course in Cambridge and the Rolling Mile course in Suffolk. Both are Jockey Club courses, but it's clear that maybe I might have a passport with me just on the off chance now. I'm not doing every race course, frankly, I'm going to. It's off to Windsor on Saturday. I have seen other videos. I had two group or graded races left to see in Britain. Hackwood Stakes, we've been out of the country in 2018, 2019, so I couldn't see it, and obviously last year I had it booked, and of course because of COVID you couldn't accept spectators. And the other race was the new Libertine Mares Chase Test Cheltenham Festival. And I had planned to go to Ascot 23rd of July, possibly for the Valiant Stakes. And I thought you get about below 30 quid, 20 on the way down, keeps one-way train ticket, but I wasn't sure about getting back, and the NAR hadn't put the trains on for getting back, and by the time I did, trains were getting back, so I wasn't sure when I could get back. With cheaper tickets going down, they're gone, and if I was a listed race, I will leave it maybe another time. I was just going through the races and the racing post and just see the future declarants races turning up to the prize money and stuff like that. If I might want to go to next month, up until the end, later in July. And despite having the group and listed flat races over a year book, I never looked at Valiant Stakes. Last year came a group 3. I got it for this year, the book, and right last year, but I just completely overlooked it. Oh God, I know it's 3 race group and grade race I've been to Britain. So I actually got a ticket and I was asked on the 23rd. It's one of my Newcastle racecourse I've been to the most. I think it's 18, 19 times. Yeah, today's Newcastle's 21st time been to Newcastle in the last 6 years. I put up some videos I've taken, a couple of videos of a track, one from back home straight. I mean, this is, at the meeting when I wasn't in. I think we run another public. So one jumps meeting. At the end of the video, I had in a video put in about the Basket of the Jumps track I took a while ago, and one Basket of the Straight Mile as well. At the end of it, you can actually see the start there. You can't get onto the track, but you can actually see the start. and also full video pictures are taken of various parts away from the racecourse. Twice, in fact, really all of them. I didn't realise how good a view you get the racecourse. Two of the last two I put up, I definitely, I just, you can see racecourse from here. I didn't realise you could. But really, it's a floodlight. Technically, you can see, rather than less of a racecourse. I like my normal seat here. I like to sit down there. There's nowhere directly in line winning post sort of high up, and so I'm liking sort of, there's a seat right at the far end I like to go to. I just put a picture up at one point. I think I've still got it. I'm not sure. I hope might have. I don't know if I've still got it. But there was something like a ghost town one meeting, midweek meeting a couple of years back. There's no one there at all, and there's never time when there's controversy about last two races being banned, and I mentioned in my air video, and mentioned issues in Newcastle, and one of the last two races were banned because of floodlight failure. One of the floodlights failed. And there's comments people saying, we should have run it already, what light's gone worse, and now I'll tell you what, there's only one person who really told what the light was like there. That was me. As the only person in the stands up where I am now, because it was raining a bit as well, but I was undercover. And I can tell the light didn't change. I don't think the light changed at all in that half hour. Just consulting with the meeting. So a lot of people sort of say, it's always your light was short. Well, you don't know, mate. You weren't there. You wouldn't, and even further up the track, you wouldn't quite, I think, be able to see. Other people saying this, you don't have a clue. I'm afraid one person you would know was me, as I was there. Go back to air. Had a couple of pints after racing, and I'll have to put up here where the pub was. It was a nice enough pub actually in Kilmarnock, because I said a 2 hour, air video said a 2 hour change. It was nice. It was getting busy because of the Scotland game, which was actually started about 8 after my train, so I couldn't have one for any of that. And accidentally I didn't get the results because when I got to Carlisle, I was trying to think. Issue Carlisle, and I'm sure not places are, but certainly Harrogate, when I've been sometimes to Harrogate to get a bus to and from back from Ripon Racecourse, and also Weddick after racing. There's a lack of shops after about 6 o'clock, certainly later on the times I've been at Carlisle, just by Sandwich. There's a lack of them, it really is. And I was wondering, I'm trying to find one. I forgot it was just before the end of the England game at the end of it, and I couldn't, because there's no reception whatsoever pretty much on the phone between Carlisle and Newcastle, so I couldn't catch any of the game at all anyway. But you could hear the cheers after the pubs, and I could, England winning obviously, and I think it'd been a second goal as well. Was the second goal disallowed? I'm not sure, but anyway, it was the end. It was clearly had won, and it's a Three Lines music was playing. So I did eventually watch highlights of the game, but I knew the result there of that one. My rank outside 500 to 1 bet on Hungary. I thought for a second that might come off. Actually, won't come off, but at least get to stay alive for a bit longer. But unfortunately, they've gone out after good effort against Germany. Frankly, they done well to get 2 points in a group of death. Frankly, England looking relatively okay. Interesting to know the horse racing list. England, I say, it's the lowest. England's group is the lowest goals ever scored to win a group in Euro history. And England always says England. I did actually do a tweet on the I see if I can find it from years ago. Look into this, and it's always England's group has a group with the lowest goals in any tournament. I think maybe Euros and the World Cup. I'm not sure. Maybe it's the World Cup, and it's always why. I don't know why, but it almost seems to be England. Very well it's not. I think last Euros it wasn't because there are quite a few goals, but it seems to be just a group. England in a group. You don't get many goals even if you have any other games. It seems. It's all rather strange. So got Carlisle week on Saturday evening meeting, first couple of days after. No, sorry, Ripon, another evening meeting, couple of days after that, but very, very late. Oh, number 4 here in the Eagle Way, the main Bishop Devil Handicap, going to post early. I mean, because somehow they mentioned it 3 times in about a minute. Mike Cat mentioning as commentator, and then someone mentioned it earlier, someone else mentioned it as well. I mean, okay, you don't need to mention it 3 times. I think we've actually heard. Thanks. Only 3 different people mentioning it. In terms of on-bound final thing about photo ID, Newcastle, and of course we're in a racing company like Windsor will be on Saturday. I did want photo ID, and of course didn't ask for it. But I'm gonna have to get a passport with me, I think, even because I was gonna complain to Windsor, say, "Doctor, you really need a passport?" But I'm wary. And someone would say something on Facebook, and from Windsor Racecourse saying, "Oh, you don't," and then someone says, "Well, you do." Well, we do actually, and I'm thinking, well, I can't go back, so I'll just take it with me. But it's really poor. It really is. If as I say, July Course Newmarket's the only one which apparently is enforcing it, which surprises me. I should have time before and after racing at Windsor for a pint. There's a couple of pubs looking at there. But might be forget to just put my video who I'm thinking of drinking at there. Three of us times in Windsor I've been to three. All of it had some transport issue, one of which was slightly my mistake, one wasn't, and one, well, in the end it wasn't that important. First time, I have to admit, I got slightly lost. If I'm sort of going, well, Windsor's into bizarre. Didn't have any directions at all to a racecourse. No signs at all. And even more bizarrely, you get to Windsor itself.
Jockeys, mount, jockeys. Will you please mount?
I've never seen a sign to a station in 3 times. And it's quite a complicated station with 2 stations. I actually think I might get off at Windsor with Riverside this time round. It's the other one I got there. And it's quite complicated to find. And the first time I went to the racecourse, I actually found myself going over, I might go a bit of a Thames, and I'm thinking, quivering up thinking, hang on, this isn't right. And luckily I think I'd worked out on my phone, at that point, on my S5 phone, how to use Google Maps, and I worked out, oh no, you're going the wrong way. And I must have going off, just went the wrong way slightly, and struggled to make the first race. The second, and now I can't remember, the second or third time, I think the second or third time were both evening fixtures. And one of them, I used in Newcastle, and a very early train actually. Go well ahead of the evening meeting. For an evening meeting, I had to work in Windsor. I went to the early train at Newcastle, probably a couple of hours I expected in London or possibly Windsor. But then I had to change it to York, Newcastle, York on Transpennine, and then York down to London on, I think Eleanor. Well, there's only really one option in York. It's possibly I had another change in Doncaster. I think it was York to King's Cross direct. And then first train was cancelled at 9 o'clock in the morning. Oh, great. Then a second train that was cancelled. I thought, right, I asked NLR, and NLR would not going to let Transpennine not give permission for NLR to take the Transpennine passengers who had been trains to be cancelled. Really poor. At 10 o'clock I had enough. The second train cancelled. Oh God, I got another pint somewhere. I went to a place I thought was open, ducked under something, and they looked at me and rather, well, I was so surprised. I was thinking, what the hell are you doing? And they weren't open actually yet. Finally found a pub. I'm always number one, possibly. And it was strange. A guy. I entered it. The guy was trying to say something, no, you can't come in or something, and it was just pumped her, normal pub. Yeah, it was just a pub goer. I don't know what the hell he was doing, like to an arsehole. But eventually got the train there and was running a bit late and managed just make the first race because despite having ages in hand originally, but literally 2 hours late out of Newcastle was a real problem. Imagine. The third time I actually pre meeting, I didn't have time. And for once I decided to do, instead of walking, I'd take a boat. And it's worth doing this. If you ever go to Windsor Racecourse, you've got the time, take a boat. It's a great way to get there and back from Racecourse. But it was just a queue so long, and I thought it took longer than expected, and actually missed the first race. I did think there was a risk of that. The other 2 times I had to make the first race. This time I had the time to do it, and then missed the first race somehow. But it was a nice journey. I think the first race wasn't. It was quite minor. I wasn't that bothered. It's a nice way to do it. If you've got the time, and I certainly don't know if I'm doing it on Saturday, it's worth going to take a boat from Windsor to Thames down to a racecourse and back again. It's certainly a nice way to get to a racecourse. But one issue I had with Windsor, and I say it here in the Newcastle video, is I say I don't mind music events at racecourses. I think I've been running to a racecourse. I'm not fussed with myself about it. I had some I wasn't interested in 2018, and I thought, oh, you've charged too much of it. It's like 40 quid there, and it's more than it should be. But if it's music thing I'm not interested in, I really wouldn't. I'd have to get a train anyway, but go off. So I wouldn't even hang around for the music event even at the end of the evening meeting. So I held off, hoping it wouldn't happen next year, but it did. And I thought, well, there's one of the very few group of graded races I've not been to at Windsor. I'll put up which one it is. Well, that was 2019. And that's actually overnight, because we've got another one, a good of the next day on Sunday. Hadn't been to, and I thought, well, I'll just stay overnight at Windsor and go to Goodwood one the next day. Which I did. And I avoided whichever music one it was at Windsor. And then going to a nice Whale Ale pub, and below me was the music there, and it was a wide ranging musical taste, ranging from sort of breakbeat techno through to classical, and there was some nice, just normal music. It was just nice guitar play. I don't think might be going playing this guitar. I can't remember who it was, but it's really good. And I was thinking, when dancing better, I want to have been. If I didn't want to hang around at Windsor forever, because I could have hung around this because I was staying overnight for the music event at Racecourse. But actually, I had a nice good time there, actually. And I was saying, I don't mind a Racecourse have music events to bring money in, but please have it to minor meetings. It's not, as someone else as well has done this. And Racecourse, like I said, why are you not doing so a minor meeting to a major meeting? It's the only pattern race of the year. Why on earth can you not let your meeting waste on that instead of shoving a music event at the end of it and have a music event in a minor meeting? That's my view. I'll end this video with a re-recorded audio, as for some reason the video I did at the time didn't work right. And then there's a horse called James Bond, and I do like my horse puns. And you see the sire here is Monsieur Bond, the dam is called Sapphire. Now that's Sapphire 1p there, probably because I suspect the Sapphire horse with 2p was already registered, and so just something happens that someone we register a horse with a slightly different name, but obviously still pronounced Sapphire. But obviously the word Bond and the Sapphire, and the pun there, James Bond.